What's going on, people? It's your boy Slink Bandicoot. Today we're with Bleach chapter 585. Now, quick summary of the chapter. Starts out with Juha Bark talking to Ichigo about the hole he's created through the barriers, which he's now going to use to get to the Soul Palace. Ichigo, on hearing this, goes to attack Juha Bark straight away, but immediately, Slink, the power comes in and punches him. She comments that it's a bit foolish for Ichigo to try and attack them, try and attack Juha Bark with 8 Quincy surrounding him, but he basically shrugs her off and goes to proceed forward to Juha Bark. Then Nana comes in with a swipe, but Ichigo dodges it. And the kind of Quincy, the Quincy with 2 guns, comes in, goes to attack Ichigo, but he manages to dodge the shot and proceed forward. But as soon as he does that, bounces behind him with burning finger number 1. And Renji comes in with Sabaru, basically almost hits Ichigo in the process of trying to help him, but obviously stops Basby from getting a close range shot on Ichigo, which would have been very devastating, of course. Then Renji comments to Ichigo that he has some kind of history with Juha Bark, so he's the one who's about to take him out. Then he proceeds forward to Juha Bark. All Quincy go to get in the way, but just so that happens, Renji, Rukia, Kicha, Ikaku, Izaki Shuhei, and Byakuya are there to stop the sub. Essentially, it's 6 versus 8 at the end of the chapter, and that's it now. First, talking about this chapter. It's always funny to me how anime manga has always some kind of time period, but it's the way that Juha Bark said 1,000 seconds exactly, like, we've got 90 seconds, not even minutes. And I'm sure that might be like a literal translation that I read, but it was very funny to me straight away, because my mind's also Dragon Ball Z, when there's a time limit, like, planets gonna blow up in so many minutes or so many hours, it takes many hours for that to happen anyway, but the time limit's been imposed, 1,000 seconds, that gives us more opportunity for them to get up there. I'm assuming, my thought period is, my thought process is, that the studio division must have anticipated this, because they're not stupid. They must have thought, if Ichigo goes and breaks through the barriers, that means that Quincy could potentially get up there. I mean, I can't assume that Ichigo's that powerful that he could take out all the Quincy in one foul swoop, so there might have some kind of backup against that. Or maybe, because I don't really know much about Joe Buck, I'm assuming that they probably didn't think that there'll be a hole for them to get through, so might have anticipated it might be Joe Buck on the advantage there, so I have to wait and see in future chapters. I'm assuming they're going to go for the barrier. I can't see Ichigo stopping Juha Bark, Uryu, and Hashball. So I'm thinking maybe that maybe Hashball might stay behind to deter Ichigo, and Uryu and Juha Bark go through. Or maybe, which would be kind of interesting, that Uryu stays behind and takes on Ichigo for a bit, and maybe goes through the barrier at some point. Well, I think it'd be good to see how far Uryu's come, especially now he's got a bit of power from Juha Bark, so it'd be good to see his new power scheme, Ichigo's new power scheme. Maybe Ichigo might go Bankai against Uryu, and that'd be a pretty sick fight, to be fair, but to wait and see on that, of course. Next talking point, Ichigo been able to take Stone P's punch very easily. It's actually very impressive, to be fair. I mean, we saw how strong she is, picking up buildings and that. And for her to punch him when he not really feel anything. I mean, obviously Mike took some damage, we're not going to see much, he probably just shrugged it off anyway, but it looks like he took no damage at all, and even the kind of Quincy with the guns was impressed that he managed to take that strike and had nothing really happen to him at all. So obviously Ichigo's defense there, very impressed. Obviously speed is I'll be able to dodge them all at the same time. I mean, Ichigo in Shikai dodging virtually 8 Quincy, stone level Quincy. It's very impressive, to be fair. So Ichigo, obviously, he's stronger main character in the story, obviously really strong, so it's come a long way. So let's see what happens next week under Ichigo. In terms of the 6 vs 8, this is very intriguing because I think I saw many chapters ago against, I can't remember the rest of Quincy. It looked like he pretty much messed up Ikaku and Isaki Shuhei, so they're pretty worth aware. Rukia, who fought against Asnot, I think she used the Bankai very quickly, and she used the spiritual pressure. I don't see how she's gonna be able to help that much. Byakuya did a bit in that fight, so he's pretty much fresh. Byakuya, so the same 6 vs 8, they haven't really got much. The Soul Reapers haven't really got much against them. As of the Quincy though, as we saw last week, Basby, I would say mortally wounded them, but he basically wounded the 4 girls, so they're not worse. They're pretty much worse for why. Nana seems to be fine, but so I'm thinking Nana might fight Renji because he said that he watches movements, knows down to 2, but also it could be Nana versus Renji. That's one fight. Now I'm assuming because they're weakened, and Renji, not Renji, and Ruki's weakened as well, and so is Saki Shuhei. It might be Saki Shuhei and Rukia versus the 4 girls. But they do seem fairly powerful, so Byakuya might overwhelm them, to be fair. Byakuya versus Basby would be pretty good, but I'd rather Byakuya face probably the Colonel Quincy, because he obviously was pretty strong. The way he kind of easily, not took out, but was a match for Shunsui. Who's obviously the new captain now. Obviously left him with only one eye, so he's pretty powerful as well. So the matchups are looking good, to be fair. But as I said already, I think it might be the 4 girls versus Saga Shuhei and Rukia. The guy with the staff, can't remember his name, probably Imikicha. Ikaku possibly versus Ikaku versus maybe Nanana, and then that leaves Byakuya versus the final Quincy. And I think that's all the background set up there. So it should be a good 6 on 8 hopefully. Maybe get to see Isaki Shuhei's Bankai possibly. That'd be good to see. I mean, back in there when he first did Shikai in the anime. That's one of my favorite episodes of Bleach of all time, because the way he was fighting that one Arankan took out Shikai in a way, he was just decimating that even though it's weak Arankan, decimating, like, I think that was probably one of the best episodes of Bleach. So Isaki going Bankai, that could be pretty good. But then it kind of begs the question, why he didn't go Bankai? If he has got a Bankai, obviously because he trained with Kensei, why didn't he go Bankai against the rest of the Quincy in the first place? Maybe that was a setup for Renji to fight, but I'll try to wait and see on that. So next week should be a good 6 on 8. Obviously Ichigo possibly versus Uryu or Hashirot or Juha or imagine if Ichigo tried to take three of them all at the same time. That would obviously get away from that, would be ridiculous. But next week we've got some interesting fights. So overall, I would say it was a okay chapter. A bit of progression, obviously. Look, we know what Juha Bark's planning now. We know where he's going with that. So we'll have to wait next week to see that. So overall, it was an okay chapter. Bit of story progression. The art was okay. So yeah, I'll give it an okay rating overall. So if you like the video, give me a like. You want to subscribe to my channel. I do One Piece, Bleach, Naruto, manga chapters weekly. And please leave a comment in the comment section below to talk about the chapter. And that's me, Slink Bandicoot, out.